interestingly, it's the plants that I planted on either side of the entryway into our farm because I wanted people to enter in a space of like holding their vision and their dreams when they came in.
Hello and welcome to the Herbs with Rosalee podcast, a show exploring how herbs heal as medicine, as food, and through nature connection. I'm your host, Rosalee de la Forêt. I created this YouTube channel to share trusted herbal wisdom so that you can get the best results when relying on herbs for your health. I love offering up practical knowledge to help you dive deeper into the world of medicinal plants and seasonal living. Each episode of the Herbs with Rosalee podcast is shared on YouTube as well as your favorite podcast app. Transcripts and recipes for each episode can be found at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com or through the link in the video description. Also in the video description, you'll find other helpful resources. For example, to get my best herbal tips, as well as fun bonuses, be sure to sign up for my weekly herbal newsletter. Okay, grab your cup of tea and let's dive in. This was my first time meeting Molly, and just wow. In this interview, Molly talks about a couple of her mentors, and both times she says they're the type of people you can spend time with, and then you walk away from them feeling more joy and hope in the world. And, well, I would say that describes Molly. It was an absolute delight and pleasure to meet Molly and hear the many ways she's working with herbs to strengthen relationships and build connections. For those of you who don't already know her, Molly Meehan Brown is a mama, folk herbalist, and lifelong learner in love with relationship building between plants, land, and people. Molly is the founder of Wild Ginger Community Herbal Center, and together with her partner Javier, stewards herbal and birth programs in his native Costa Rica in Maryland, as well as online. Molly also founded kidsherbalism.com, a vibrant global village of inspiring herbalists and plant people helping raise our next generation in relationship with the plants. Molly is a white cis female descendant of Irish settlers living on Piscataway land in southern Maryland and Bribri and Cocoldi land in Costa Rica. Molly, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much. I am also excited to be here, Rosalee.
Well, so we were just chatting before we went live, and we were talking about how we've known each other in the herbal ethers for a while now, but this is our first time meeting, and I'm excited to hear about all the weavings of your herbal path and what's brought you here to us today.
Sure. I am honored to be here, first of all, and very much admire the work that you do and also the weaving of community that you do, which is definitely something akin to my heart, and also the community-based herbalism. So yes, it's an honor to be here. I'm very thankful. As far as, how did I land here today or my past as a plant person? I really grew up in relationship with plants. My mother had these amazing gardens that I just remember growing up in and always being out there with her, weeding and watering. They were ornamental gardens and the most beautiful flower gardens, I could ever imagine. She was a really hardworking person. My dad was a chef, so like food and flowers and these kinds of things were always sort of a part of my world. I just was in relationship with plants from a really young age. Although it's interesting too, because a lot of the work my mom did was like ornamental plants. I wasn't growing my own food or using herbs medicinally. In fact, I was kind of told not to, and that it was sort of unsafe to use wild plants. And so I had a little bit of a fear around it. And then as I, grew older, I got more and more interested in plants, in organic agriculture and sustainable agriculture, as well as herbal medicine. And so I had the opportunity when I was in my late teens to study abroad while I was in Costa Rica. And I did an internship on a medicinal plant farm that was also a rural women's cooperative. And so at that moment, it sort of like fused together what the rest of the trajectory of my life was going to be, in that I fell in love with herbal medicine, with the plants. And also it was like this place where people and plants came together. There was a social justice component to the project. It was a rural women's cooperative. There was very few economic opportunities in the area. And so it sort of fused a lot of the values that I care about together. And so that was sort of like the official, I guess you could say, beginning of being more intentional in my relationship with plants and really getting to know about herbal medicine. And yeah, I just totally fell in love. After that, I studied in Southern California at the Self Heal School of Herbal Medicine, which is a little super sweet herb school in Ocean Beach in OB, Southern California, and in San Diego. And then I studied a lot with folk healers, members of the community that I live in Costa Rica, as you mentioned, or actually, I guess that was before. My husband is born and raised in the South Caribbean of Costa Rica, and I spent a lot of my adulthood there. And so I've studied a lot with my community members there. You know, herbalism is just sort of woven into community and daily lives there. So those have been some of my greatest teachers: Alda Cook Campbell, Patty Blas Martinez, Miguel, lots of different folks from my community there as well. And I also had the chance to study with Kat Meyer from Sacred Plant Traditions in Charlottesville. I had I'd spent most of my adulthood actually in Costa Rica and landed back in the DC area where I'm from when I was with a family member that was moving through cancer. And so I kind of landed back in this area unexpectedly and had the opportunity to go study with Kat 3 hours to the south of DC. I would drive once a week. It was, it was, I guess you could say it was like dedication, but it was the most beautiful experience ever. You know, Kat Meyer is amazing. I always say going to school at Sacred Plant Traditions felt like you were going to school for life. You just felt better about life after going. Kat's an incredible teacher, and she's really created incredible space there, a really healing space. And so, yeah, I had the opportunity to go to Sacred Plant for a few years. And yeah, I mean, through Wild Ginger, I've had the opportunity, like my life, my profession is learning. I get to learn from people constantly. So that's a little bit, I guess, about sort of formal and less formal, relationship that I've got with plants.
I love that, Molly. I feel like this happens so much with guests on the show. Like I just resonate so much with your story and see so much of my own story in there, which just for me personally can just be like a powerful thing. And to hear like your mother's gardens, and how you were immersed in the plants and having a relationship with plants from a young age, even if it wasn't just, you know, even if it wasn't like an edible medicinal relationship, it was still that relationship with them. And I think I feel so grateful and lucky that I came from a family of gardeners. And I've often wondered, like, would I be who I am today if I didn't have that? And they weren't, herbalists or anything, but it was just that like being rooted with the plants for, from a very young age. So anyway, that was what I was thinking when you were talking about that. I'm curious. You mentioned you went to the women's cooperative when you first went to Costa Rica. Does that still exist today?
I actually do not know.
Hmm.
I have searched it online because that was something, that was like 2 decades now.
Wow.
That was a while ago. And I've never been able to find it again. And it's so funny because Costa Rica is a very small country. It's about the size of West Virginia. And I've always dreamt about going back and seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never made it that way. It is very, very rural. Like I used to take a whole lot of buses to get there, and I have all the stories from that. But I've never been back, and they don't have an online presence. So I will need to go on a journey someday. But my instinct is telling me that I don't think it is anymore, unfortunately.
I don't know why. It just made me curious since I know you still have a relationship with that
It
land
was,
and you're there a
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I live in a totally different area. We're in the South Caribbean side. It was in the Caribbean basin, but just a really different, more northern region. Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that just is just like a resonance with your story is that I lived in the Dominican Republic for a while, and I
Oh, yeah.
really thought for a while that that was going to be my forever home. So it's kind of interesting to hear your story and just like, oh, like, she made that choice to make that her home for a while. So in another
Yeah,
universe, I think I'm still living there. So
I hear you. Yep. Funny how it all works out that way.
yeah. Yeah. And I love just hearing all these like different aspects of herbalism because I think that's so important for people to hear and for even a reminder for myself of just we don't learn from one place. We learn from the plants always, but there's so much wisdom out there and so many different perspectives. And like you said, learning from your elders that it's just woven into life, going to official schools, all of it is just a beautiful way to just keep the dance with herbs alive. So thanks for sharing all of that.
course.
Well, you've chosen a plant that's been very much on my mind lately because mugwort, it's probably the best it's ever looked in my garden. I have 3 different varieties, and this is like mugwort year. And it's mugwort is a plant that I haven't actually worked with a lot, but it's one that like kind of feels a little hard to get to know, and one that I keep thinking like I need to prioritize like really spending time with this plant. And so to have you choose it, I was like instantly like, ooh. So I'm excited to hear what you have to share about mugwort.
I have to tell you, that's so funny. A couple of things. First of all, it is rough around here for mugwort this year, mainly because the deer are eating it. Like I was actually harvesting a bundle of mugwort this morning and there was no tops. So the deer are just like going to town. I guess they're in the dream world this year. And also I resonate with that. And actually I was reading a monograph lately where somebody said the very same thing. Like not necessarily having that deep of a relationship, but also feeling called to a relationship with mugwort. And I am there with you. I really am there with you. The reason why I chose mugwort, you know, part of this kind of conversation and a lot of the work that I've been doing lately is working in the world of herbalism with kids. And I've been thinking a lot about that dream world and sort of cultivating that with kids. And that's actually why I chose mugwort. The importance of having dreams and cultivating dreams, but also I've been really inspired by and really being intentional about trying to think about the imagination and the connection of mugwort and dreams and imagination and possibility and you know how alive that is, you know, especially when we're really young, and how important that is. Like it's such an important muscle, you know, to sort of work with. And a lot of times our imagination just gets, you know, less and less as we get older. It's sort of, and that's not always true. Obviously, I'm speaking in generalities. And even with kids, sometimes it kind of gets washed out. So I chose mugwort because I want to uplift, you know, dreams and imagination and how very important those sort of skills are, you know, in life, and how I think, you know, they give me hope for our future. So that's why I chose mugwort.
Hmm.
Not even necessarily as like for the, you know, that medicinal qualities or anything like that. But that was sort of like the headspace I was in.
And when you say dreams, because dreams and imagination, do you also mean like dreams, sleeping dreams, daydreaming, like
I think
gold
all of
dreams,
it.
all of it? Okay.
So right, what was the last thing you said?
I was trying to say, I don't know, like gold dreams. Like I dream to, like when I was a kid, I wanted to be the first woman on Mars. I wanted to be an astronaut, like
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
dream.
Oh, goals. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, mugwort is so commonly associated with dreams. It's a so, you know, Artemis vulgaris. So Artemis, the goddess of the moon, of other things as well. And so the moon, dream work, you know, happening, you know, throughout the night. So I think that's the way a lot of people are really familiar with it, whether, you know, creating smoke bundles with it or making teas with it or smoking or things like that. Kind of want to speak in a way around mugwort that's appropriate for kids as well. Just sort of, we wouldn't, you know, but so that's kind of where it got me thinking. But I think, you know, just like zooming out from that specific dream world, like nighttime dreams, it's just like dreams in general and like working on visualization. And I think when I think of dreams, I think of anything could happen, right? It's, you know, and I think that our waking world is like that too, but we don't always think of it that way. And so that's why I've been thinking about imagination with the dreams. And I think like as we work with having, you know, working with mugwort, it helps us stay open to like what are the possibilities if we're going through a challenge, you know, what are the dreams or the imagination that we can use to come up with solutions, or what are the possibilities that we can see if we're facing, you know, collective challenges, you know, how can we use our imagination to work together to solve challenges, right? So like these are things that can be applied to little kids in really amazing and fantastic ways, but they have such use. And I think they're really important skills as communities of adults as well. So I've been calling on mugwort with that kind of stuff, like thinking about like big serious challenges that we've got kind of that we're facing, but how can we work together using our imaginations to come up with solutions? And I think mugwort's really beautiful in that way. One of the, it's a protective plant, it's traditionally used, to keep away evil spirits or parasitic energies, those kinds of things. It also is such a plant that I think really helps us be in connection with our intuition, which is also such an important part of this work, and really important for all of us, right? To be in touch with our intuition and our gut. And I was thinking about, what I was going to say about mugwort, and specifically thinking about kids. And I love to work with mugwort with kids. I mean, and I think this works for adults as well, but working through our senses. So I was, thinking about a few different ways, how I incorporate mugwort with the different senses, or how I'm in relationship with mugwort. Does that sound good to kind of move through?
Yeah.
Okay,
Whenever
cool.
you talk about herbalism and senses, I'm like all ears, all
Okay,
taste
cool.
buds. I don't know, all of
Yeah.
it.
So, I think a lot of the traditional things that people know about mugwort is it being a bitter, it being, tonifying for our digestive system, sort of stimulating or supportive of menstruation, those kinds of pieces, circulatory. There's all these kind of different pieces, but I kind of was thinking about it just like through a sense by sense way, or what are the ways that I'm in relationship with mugwort, or my kids as well. And so I love mugwort. I was thinking, the first way that I have mugwort is just like as an adornment or as a decoration, or I oftentimes will hang a bundle of mugwort by my bed, right? And so I'm seeing mugwort. I'm using my eyes to just see and enjoy its beauty. It's also, interestingly, it's the plant that I planted on either side of the entryway into our farm, because I wanted people to enter in a space of like holding their vision and their dreams when they came in. And so I really just get such pleasure from looking at this beautiful plant, like its dark green tops, this silvery, underside, and that silver connects it with the moon and the moonlight as well, creating, got like little herbal garland behind me that I made with my kins, or herbal bundles. So those are just sort of the ways like looking at mugwort shows up in my life. And then through tastes, mugwort is a bitter. And so that a lot of times people will make either tincture of it. Some people love bitters and will go for it with the tea. And I can hang with some mugwort tea, some as well. Wonderful for digestion. Mugwort's really high in minerals. So I like to make like mugwort vinegars for salad dressings and things like that. So exploring that sort of bitter taste and finding ways to incorporate it into our daily lives in a way that's not even so intentionally like specific for this medicinal, but rather like showing up like how are we weaving these herbs through our lives. Touch, a way mugwort has been showing up in our lives actually lately. I am not an acupuncturist, but a good friend of mine, Gio Edwards, is an acupuncturist and has been working, who's incredible, from Grain and Pestle, by the way. And Gio's been working with myself and one of my daughters doing moxa. And so I've been able to start doing moxa treatments with my daughter. And so that touch, right? Like, first of all, moxa is so amazing to me, such an amazing form of mugwort, because it's just this super soft, fluffy form of mugwort. You're just like, whoa, I didn't realize that this plant could turn into this. It's just...
Yeah, will you explain it? Because there might be people who aren't familiar with moxa,
Sure.
especially since there's different forms of it too.
And I don't want to like misspeak, right? So I'm not an acupuncturist. I am not an expert of this. And I have been taught by folks that are really rooted in keeping, in the spirit of like community herbalism and folks being able to sort of interact and create their medicine. So essentially the way I've seen moxa created has been like from harvesting leaf, and then you can actually create it using a blender, like a good blender, and that'll get it pretty fluffy. But then it's created either into little cones, shaped into cones, or it's also shaped into little rolls that are rolled with paper. And then that doesn't usually actually touch the skin, but you're sort of working with the meridians. You're stimulating the meridians using moxa in different acupuncture treatments. So I
And
can't speak.
fire's involved as well. Usually it's lit on
Yeah,
fire.
it's lit. Yes, exactly. And so whether you're using the little cones or if you're using the moxa stick, then it's lit. And then, an acupuncturist is who can tell you all of that. That's not me. But yeah, we've been working with it with my daughter, and it's a process. And then after we use the moxa on certain points, and it's really about sort of breaking up for her some like patterns of dampness, a lot of moisture that's been showing up for her, like we have lots of ear infections or different kinds of things like that. And so we're trying to support her in this way, right? And it's been this process that she loves so much with the moxa. And then after the moxa treatment, we actually put on a mugwort oil that Gio gave us as well. And so it's just this beautiful ritual that's been part of our lives, and just special way that mugwort, we've been in relationship with mugwort for the last couple months. Yeah.
What I
So
love
that's
about that so much, Molly, is that like if you looked up a list of like what herbs are good for earaches or ear infections, you wouldn't find mugwort on that, I don't think. But what you're talking is about really energetic herbalism. And this, you're like looking at the overall, and with help of Geo, looking at, the bigger system and really working with this relationship with the plant, which just to me is like always gives me goosebumps because that's my favorite part of herbalism, really.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, Gio and I went in, he's like, what are you doing? And, I was doing all the herbs and all of the things. And this has been a several year kind of thing. And so this is why we have to, like, yes, we can sort of look at mullein garlic ear oil or different kinds of things, but we also want to like zoom out and look at this aerial perspective. And that's what working with, energetic herbalism is able to do, is to sort of like hopefully address these larger patterns, and things that are showing up. So yeah, it's good to have community, and it's good to have community of herbalists that work in different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it's all about, is, no one person's ever going to know everything. And so it's such a strength to be able to be in community with folks that can support, and you can run things by and work in different, take different approaches. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If we can circle back to some of the first stuff you were saying, because it just keeps like popping into my mind. I love like the sense that I was getting when you're talking about kind of dreams and like imaginative approach to solving problems and kind of widening our perspective. It made me feel like perhaps one of the gifts of mugwort can be like a lessening or a softening of rigidity. So like kind of the vision I had in my head, and I get this vision a lot, is like some of us, myself included, because I'm a very like Virgo routines person, is that like we could live our lives like walking through like the same path over and over again. And when we walk the same path, it gets very defined. If you think like walking through a trail in the forest, right? That path becomes more and more defined. And outside of the path is less defined, right? And so that was the sense I had when you're talking about mugwort, is like, oh, that could help us like step off the path that we're like on, like the rut that we're in, to like step into something else, to like imagine things differently. So
Absolutely. I like that. I never put it that way, but I think it's a really excellent way to put it, right? Another way to sort of put a lens on mugwort, and about seeing, yeah, exactly, like what is it, what are the possibilities, how can we take something that might otherwise be seen in a negative way and actually sort of transform, have it be a transformative experience, or what have you. So yeah, I love that, actually.
the other thing I love that you planted mugwort at the like at the either side of your gate at your farm, for those reasons you said, of like inviting people's dreams and imagination in. And um what I thought when you were talking about that is, years ago I was so incredibly lucky to have lunch with Robin Wall Kimmerer.
Mhm.
And the question that she posed at that lunch was, how do we remember to remember? And it's something that has like stuck with me for a long time. And she talked about how there's all these different practices around the world about how, certain things are hung, or, just there we have practices to like help us to remember to remember. And so I love that idea of that, because that is then like a constant reminder to you of the intentions for your farm. And yeah, so I love that as well. And I think the more things that we like have to remember, it just is a very powerful practice.
Absolutely, I love that.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share about mugwort?
Well, just the sound.
Oh yeah,
Round
we're
up
in the
that
sentence. Yeah, let's do
sound,
it.
yeah. With sound, you know, some plants are music, or most of our music, sorry, most of our musical instruments are plant medicine. And I think that's a lens a lot of folks forget, or I know I forgot for a really long time. Then I realized, wow, like guitars are made out of plants, bid is made out of plants, flutes, bamboo flutes, like plant medicine is also, like, music is also oftentimes plant medicine. And I can't find anything about that with mugwort to tie together as far as the sound. But with the exploration of mugwort, with the plants that aren't quite as obvious like that, or don't necessarily like have seeds that we're going to put in a rattle or something so obvious, one of the practices that I really love to do is just being with the plant as it grows and just watching who it's in relationship, who's showing up to pollinate mugwort. And like, those are sounds, like these gardens are making their sounds, right? Who's buzzing around. And other ways that we could think about mugwort. I did start going through and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of songs made about mugwort, so creating a song or listening to people's music they've created around mugwort, or even poems, taking some time to create a poem or listen to other folks' poems that they've written about mugwort. So just thinking about ways to round out experiencing these plants with all of our senses, exploring them in that way. That's kind of where I landed for sound with mugwort. So yeah.
I'm interested about songs for mugwort. What songs are there? Like, are these like folk songs or?
There's a lot of folk songs. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, I just started Googling, mugwort songs, and there was like dozens of different songs that folks have made. And yeah, so I'd been introduced, and I don't want to misspeak, but I'd been introduced to this instrumental album by somebody called MF Doom, by one of our students. And it is a whole album of different herbs. Like each song is a different herb name, and mugwort is one of them. And and I really enjoy instrumental music. When I'm trying to concentrate, if there's words, oftentimes I'll just, get carried away with the words instead of concentrating. So anyways, it's a really good album for that. And so that was just like the first one that was on my mind, but then I started doing a little digging, and there's a lot out there.
Wow, that's so interesting. Plus, I'm interested now in checking out that musician too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like Tori Amos, as some people will know about me, and she has one instrumental album, so that's like the one that I listen to when I'm working, because it's the same thing. Like if there's lyrics, I can't do it at the same
Yeah.
time. So,
I
but a
hear
whole
you.
instrumental album inspired by plants, that sounds like what I should be listening to.
Exactly. Yep, absolutely. I was really excited when I found out about it as well.
Yeah. Did we cover all of the senses then?
We did.
Taste,
See, taste, smell.
smell.
Oh, I didn't do smell. So smell, well, I mean, a lot of times folks will either burn using smoke sticks and, with different kinds of rituals as well. People will smoke mugwort. I love mugwort also, like in dream pillows. Like I have this little sweet dream pillow, which has lavender in it, but it also has mugwort as well. When I do make dream pillows, I tend to be a person that has really intense dreams. And so I like to soften mugwort with something like lavender or maybe roses as well. And so that's another way. And it smells really beautiful. Mugwort's also, I forgot to say, like it's bitter, but it's also, and it's slightly warming, but it's also aromatic. And so, yeah, I really love it that way as a dream pillow. It's a simple, very, very common, thing that folks can make. And you can make them, with cotton muslin bags from the co-op, or it doesn't have to be anything. You could use a sock as long as it's clean.
I love the idea of pairing mugwort with lavender and rose to soften it, because when I've worked with mugwort for dreams, it's been kind of intense. So I always kind of give a little warning with that. And I talked about this in another podcast, but I'll just mention it again. So when I first heard about mugwort in dreams, I was like, yeah, right. Like that just seemed like this very fanciful thing that like probably has just been repeated a lot, but there's no basis of fact. That was like where my mind went. And so, but then I had to like try it for myself, and I got schooled immediately. Like, oh no, this is not like something that people repeat. This is for real. And it was so intense. So I'm often like telling people like, yeah, it does amazing things for lucid dreaming, for really working with your dreams, but like be careful. So I like the idea of softening it with something, because there's not like I would not personally work with mugwort before like an important day where I had to be up early or had to do a lot of things, because it's not
Totally.
that you're going to get a horrible night's sleep, but it could be, just intense. So,
Absolutely. And one of the other things to follow this up in a sort of like physical way is that mugwort is warming. And I think probably for folks that run warm anyways, it may be, I think part of, or from some of my understanding of my learning, it's stimulating in a way, like while it can be relaxing, right? Because it's bitter, also it is warm. And so for folks particularly that are warm, in the same way that valerian can be stimulating for folks that are already really warm, mugwort can be as too. So if you're stimulated, then maybe you're waking up more, and maybe you're not necessarily even dreaming anymore, but you're waking up because there's some stimulation there, or you're on the verge of waking up. And so then you're remembering your dreams a little bit more as well. There's some folks that have explained mugwort in that way as well. So I think it's important to consider. I know I definitely have some heat in me, and I have the exact same experience as you. And that's why, like, I'm not really like with mugwort, it's like for dream work, it's never internal for me. It's very, like, for me, it's never like fire medicine. I don't smoke mugwort. If anything, I'm just like in physical relationship, with it, or it's hanging. But I also really do love to soften it with, like you said, rose, lavender, any of the plants that sort of like kind of bring some ease.
yeah. Oh, that's such a great tip. Thank you. Let's talk about your recipe that you're sharing with us, which is kind of a crafty recipe, making an herbal garland. Can you walk us
Sure.
through that?
Sure. Well, obviously, with herbal garlands, there's many, many ways to make them. One of our favorite ways to make herbal garlands is, stringing cranberries with lemons or citrus peels after we've dehydrated them. And that's one way to do it. And then I also have behind me just simple herbal garlands. We, with my kids, like to make garlands and hang them around the house and change them seasonally, or when there's really beautiful things happening in the gardens. And so this garland behind me is actually the herbs we were just talking about. And so we just use a piece of jute for this one, and then tied on bundles of mugwort. And then this is a really special yellow rose. It's dry now, but it's the most gentle, wonderful, aromatic rose. And it was here actually when we moved to this farm, and it's so beautiful. And so it's sort of like that balance of that mugwort and then the rose. And in the middle, I have some of our oats that we grew as well. Again, like sort of softening and sort of balancing out some of the intensity that I experience with mugwort. And so, yeah, so we just sort of space them apart and then twine, we hang them up either across the windows, we hang them sometimes above the mantle, away from where they could get burned by a fireplace. We'll use herbal garlands to decorate for special occasions, whether it's holidays or people's birthdays. We can, we've made garlands that incorporate whoever's birthdays it is, favorite plants, and just really make it special and personal in that way. So I always just like to plant seeds with these types of activities, and then people can kind of bring it alive in the way that they connect with it. So not so much a recipe, but just sort of like an activity that keeps us in relationship with plants and also brings them sort of, like as adornments and sort of bringing joy into the house, that can reflect people or plants or occasions, or,
I love walking into a home that has herbal garlands, because it's often an herbalist home. There's just something that feels so good about it. It's like, I'm in the herbalist home now. It just
it
feels
feels
good.
really good. Absolutely.
I love the
agree.
idea of the favorite herbs for their like to mark a birthday too. That's really fun.
Yep. Absolutely. Or showers, like when people are like pregnant, having a baby. We've done all kinds of things. Yeah, like sometimes I've made garlands with the medicine of that person needs at that moment, right? And so I think, jewelry can be medicine, but our decorations can be medicinal as well. They can be healing, right? Everything has the potential to be healing. And so even our decorative herbal garlands.
And it's like giving somebody a beautiful bouquet, which I love to do as well. But this is like something that'll last for a while.
Yep.
And it's something that won't last forever, which I also love, because there's
Yeah.
power in that, of like, here's this vibrant garland, treasure it, get what you need from it, and then it gets to go right back to the earth.
That's an important lesson. I appreciate that one as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really love your perspective on mugwort and all of these beautiful things that you're sharing about having the relationship with mugwort, bringing it into you and your family's lives. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you wanted to talk about with Mugwort?
I can think of so much. That's
All
kind
right.
of where I'm at. Yeah, I'm not a hardcore, like user of mugwort clinically. I mean, I definitely think obviously it's got its indications in certain ways, but what I really chose to focus on was ways that it's alive in our lives, in a very realistic way.
Mhm.
And yeah, and that I want to speak from experience.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate all that. I'm glad that you mentioned the mugwort vinegar because that's something I meant to do this year and it kind of slipped out of my mind. So, like, I kid you not, today I'm going to do it. So after we get
Go
off
for it.
this, I'm going to go make the mugwort vinegar. And I love how you mentioned the mugwort bundle by your bed too. I want to do that as well. So I'm feeling
Yeah,
very
like
inspired to work with mugwort.
good. Yeah. Usually every season I'll, make a few bundles and we'll hang them, on something around the bed and usually hang a little something else, like whether it's lavender or whatever. But yeah,
Mm,
absolutely.
lovely. Well, Molly, we talked about your herbal path and growing up with a garden and talking about where you've been learning about herbs. And you've been learning about herbs for a long time, and you have these beautiful ways that you now share your love of plants with the world. And we didn't really talk about that, so I want to hear about your herbal offerings and projects that you have coming up as well.
Sure. Well, I mean, the love of my life's path, my heart song, I guess you could say, is where, community and plants, like people and plants come together. And that is I think where a lot of us land as well with this work. But not everyone, right? Everyone's got their path. And so that's really the spirit of the work that we do at Wild Ginger Herbal Center. So we're a community-based herbal project. We work out of just south of Washington, D.C., as well as in the South Caribbean of Costa Rica. We move in both spaces between where I'm from and where my husband is from. And our projects really are meant to be a reflection of our local community. All of our teachers are local, and just sort of, yeah, uplifting the stories and the traditions of our communities, and how herbalism is practiced here, and also hopefully creating opportunities for our local community to be able to dive into herbalism in a way, that yeah, and there's actually a really burgeoning herbal scene in the DC area now, which is really beautiful to see. And we've seen it grow across the country, across the world. Obviously, yeah, it's this medicine has been here as long as human beings have been. So, and then with kidsherbalism.com, that project we began actually during the pandemic, and it sort of was just a natural evolution of many people at home not quite sure what to do, me included. And all I started to do was really documenting our world, which was me and at home with two toddlers and the different herbal activities that we were doing. And then I just started sharing them because a lot of folks were in the same boat. And so we just always tried to kind of be inspired by the plants that were around us, what was in season, and utilizing simple things that, we have in a household or plants that might be quite common to help. One of the things that I think about is, like, while I did grow up in relationship with plants, right, and have a certain comfort level, like I know how much water a plant needs, or I know I'm comfortable how to use a shovel, right? And not everybody knows that. But I didn't really start learning about herbalism until young adulthood, or, you know what I'm saying? And that's very common for a lot of people as well. So what if, the sort of mission then became like, what if, more and more children are growing in relationship with the plants from a young age? And it's not just something that we have to learn and catch up on when we're in our adulthood. Everyone's journey is all good, however you come to this path. And so that's grown into this beautiful program, where we do online classes every single week. Folks that are part of our membership get access to our whole archive since, 2020, of all the classes that we've been doing weekly. Homeschool co-ops are a part of it. We've got teachers from all over the world. Really, it was like this beautiful connecting point during the pandemic. Like, we have folks making traditional bakes in Ghana. It's herbalism, cooking, gardening, and connection and relationship building in nature. And so many people that are really amazing have poured into this project. And then that's sort of born into a project that's coming out, which is the Herbal Activities for Kids book, which is I worked on, it's coming out in August 9th with Story Publishing. And a lot of the folks that helped us out with the kidsherbalism.com project have then helped bring this book to life. So we have, yes, really exciting, an herbal activities for kids book coming out in August. It's just, again, like the most amazing people that I could ever work with and collaborate with. And I see it as like a love letter to our kids, you know. Not only are these beautiful activities that are really, really special and fun, and I hope we like planted these seeds that then they can use their imaginations to sort of develop their relationships with the plants and be creative, but also I hope it helps build relationships. Like that's at the center of all that we want to do, right? It's like, how are we in relationship with the plants and with each other that's rooted in care and rooted in respect and reciprocity. And so we really tried to weave that into the book as well. And every single person that's a part of the project lives that in their own way. And so it's really beautiful story. Like, let us have a whole like community constellation section. So everyone that included in a recipe or a project in the book, we also get to learn about their community rooted herbal work, and folks are doing all this super beautiful stuff. So again, it's just like weaving those connections, creating that constellation, building those relationships, which is again like at the root of everything that we're doing. So I'm excited. Lots of cool things happening.
Sounds so lovely. And this is your first book then?
This is my first book. Yeah, and it took a while. Story contacted me many years ago. And because we've run herbal camps for kids here on the farm for a really long time. And then I just like kept having babies and I was like, I can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. And then finally, when I was done, I was like, all right, it's time. And they were so patient and wonderful. And I'm glad that it evolved as it did. Yeah. Because it looked really different when we first kind of had the conversations. And I'm so glad with how it's bloomed and turned out.
I love just keep hearing your through line and that connection and people and how that comes through and everything that you're doing. And it's just such a beautiful example of just how nuanced and healing herbalism can be. Some of us start learning by herbs by like picking up a book, and it's us in the book. And which is kind of how I started. So like you said, there's no wrong way to do it, but then this whole world opens up of relationship. And I love this, just like focus on community, focus on the gifts that everyone's brings. I don't know. It's just so beautiful, Molly. It's very inspiring.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, before you go, I have one last question for you. And this may be my favorite of the last questions. And that is, how do herbs instill hope in you?
I love this question. And I've never been asked this question before. And I think it's the question itself brings me hope and brings me joy. So I thank you for asking it. I mean, I think it weaves together with what you just sort of were talking about. When I think about herbs, and I've been thinking so much about herbs and I mean, really like nature as a whole, and what do they have to teach us for the times that we're in? Like, and when I think about the plants and the plant world, I think that there's just this sense of balance that they have, that we have a lot that we need to learn from. And I think when it boils down, like the plant world, the ecosystems, like the earth, the cosmos, like there is this inevitable interconnection that is just known and respected and keeps itself in check. It's not always perfect. It's not without, it's not always harmonious or perfect, but there's a balance there. There is enough. There is an undoubted just rootedness and interconnection and interdependence of every single being. And I think there's so many things that the plants have to teach us. But I think that is one of the ones that I've been feeling really deeply when I was thinking about this, is like, what do we need to remember, right? All that we're holding on earth, from like the micro conflicts to like the macro. whether it's climate change or war, all of this like really serious trauma and harm, right? Like heaviness, and of many, many lessons. Like I've been looking at the plants for years, like what do they have to teach us about this? And I think of many things that I could talk about this a lot, but one of the things like I think at the root right now is just remembering like we all are interconnected. Every single plant has its place. Every single person has its place. No one is here by mistake. And so how do we stay rooted in that remembrance, right? Like we're all here on earth. We're all in this together. And so it's about, observing as plants do, how do we skill up and learn how to be in a relationship with each other, So I think there's a lot of work to be done there, but I think that it's almost as simple as that. Like we are deeply interconnected and we are also deeply interdependent. And so I think the plants are really amazing models in that. And also just their generosity, just like deeply generous beings. And I think that has a lot to teach us as well. So those two things give me hope and a lot to think about.
It's so beautiful, Molly. I could listen to you all day. I feel like just to talk on that in itself, what you just shared, is just so important. Like, again, no wrong way to learn about plants, but let's say when I first started learning about plants, I might have learned that mugwort was for easing menstruation. You'd mentioned that, or for toning digestion, like you mentioned. And those are powerful, important things that we may need at different parts of our lives. So there's that like layer of healing with herbs, but then there's this other layer about seeing this like interdependence and interconnectedness and how we are learning to get along with our neighbors like plants do. All of those things you just shared is so beautiful and so important. And to me, those are these major cultural wounds that, as you've said, is like causing these major problems of today. And the plants can teach us how to heal those through their own ways of being if we're just willing to listen. So so many layers of healing, so many layers of generosity from the plants as well. And I'm just so grateful that I got to sit down and talk with you and hear so much just heartfelt wisdom from you. And I'm going to be thinking about this conversation for a long
So I really appreciate the opportunity and I'm super thankful to connect with you, Rosalee, and with your followers.
time. Thanks, Molly.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Don't forget to head over to the show notes at herbswithrosaleepodcast.com to download your beautifully illustrated recipe card and to get a transcript of this show. There, you'll also be able to sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is the best way to stay in touch. You can also find more from Molly at wildgingerherbalcenter.com and kidsherbalism.com. If you'd like more herbal episodes to come your way, then one of the best ways to support this podcast is by subscribing on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. I deeply believe that this world needs more herbalists and plant-centered folks, and I'm so glad that you're here as part of this herbal community. Also, a big round of thanks to the people all over the world who make this podcast happen week to week. Nicole Paul is the project manager who oversees the whole operation, from guest outreach to writing show notes to actually uploading each episode and so many other things I don't even know. She really holds this whole thing together. Francesca is our fabulous video and audio editor. She not only makes listening more pleasant, she also adds beauty to the YouTube videos with plant images and video overlays. Tatiana Rusikova is the botanical illustrator who creates gorgeous plant and recipe illustrations for us. I love them. I know that you do too. Christy edits the recipe cards, and then Jenny creates them as well as the thumbnail images for YouTube. Alex is our tech support and social media manager, and Karen and Emily are our student services coordinators and community support. For those of you who like to read along, Jennifer is who creates the transcripts for us each week. Xavier, my handsome French husband, is the cameraman and website IT guy. It takes an herbal village to make it all happen, including you. One of my favorite things about this podcast is hearing from you. I read every comment that comes in, and I'm excited to hear your herbal thoughts on mugwort, connection, and making herbal garlands. Okay, you've lasted to the very end of the show, which means you get your very own gold star and this herbal tidbit.
Well, I was feeling very inspired about mugwort, so just after this interview, I went out to the garden to do some harvesting, and I now have a mugwort bundle hanging from my bed and a jar of mugwort vinegar steeping on the counter, so thanks to Molly for all the inspiration. I'm super excited for the publication of Molly's book, Herbal Activities for Kids. I've already ordered several copies. I need one, obviously, and I also grabbed a couple more for the kids in my life. Something Molly told me off camera is that half the profits from the book sales go to the DC Mutual Aid Apothecary. They are a group who provides free herbal medicine and education in the Washington, D.C. area. This book sounds amazing on so many levels. Let me know what you think of it when you get your copy.